Legend of Zelda.
Hello everyone and welcome. I finally managed to beat The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild over the weekend with over 140 hours in the game when I completed it. I think it's finally time that I do my review for the Wii U version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I want you all to know that this will not be the last Zelda related video on the channel. I do plan on doing my top 5 Zelda games, Zelda items and maybe dungeons in the future. So if all that sounds interesting to you, subscribe to the channel. That should be coming soon. So let's start the review, shall we? The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or what most of us were calling for the longest time, The Legend of Zelda Wii U, was first announced at Nintendo's 2014 E3 show, which I remember watching live, and later that year at the Game Awards they showed off the first gameplay for the game, along with a 2015 release date. Oh boy, were they wrong about that one. Let's fast forward to 2017, where the game actually released. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a massive open world game where you can go and do whatever you want and tackle the game in any order. You have to complete the starting area first, which I estimate to take under 2 hours. That's if you're taking your time like I did. But once you complete the starting area, you are completely free to go and do whatever you want. This game has 4 major dungeons. You can choose to do them. You can choose to do 1 or 2 of them, or none of them at all. You are not required to complete the dungeons in this game to finish the main story. It's probably not advised to complete the game without clearing the dungeons, because you do get stuff for doing them that can help you a great deal later on in the game. Especially if you're going to go to the last boss, you're going to want to power up as much as possible. But even with all that said, I do plan on doing another playthrough without doing any of the dungeons and just going straight to the last boss in the game. Because that sounds like a lot of fun, but I wouldn't have done it for my first time playing through the game. I can also really see why this game was delayed so much. The size of this world is just outstanding. It's amazing. Like I said at the start of the video, I have over 140 hours in the game. I have discovered so much, but I still have more stuff to undiscover. It's really insane. The amount of work they all did on this game is like, it just shows so much. Big congrats to Nintendo and the team that made this. There's lots of callbacks to previous Zelda games, which I was really happy to see. The game has a lot of side missions for you to find and just get off random people while you're exploring. And along with the dungeons, this game also has these things called shrines. There are over 120 of them. They are like little small puzzles. Some of them are very easy at the start of the game, but the further you go down in the map, the ones you find can be a lot harder. I estimate they can take around 15 to probably 40 minutes depending on the difficulty. Some of the later puzzle ones are pretty challenging. And I have to give them credit for how they thought of 120 of these to put in. I know there are some of them that are really short and literally take less than a minute to complete. They do also have combat trials which count as the same shrine. They range from easy to really hard in difficulty. I do plan on going back and completing the 15 shrines that I haven't completed out of the 120. If you're like me and really like The Legend of Zelda for its story, there are these memories that you have to find, because in this game Link has forgotten. After being asleep for 100 years, he can't remember shit. So you have to find your memories. You get these pictures, and you have to track down where the picture was taken on the map. And it doesn't look the same from the picture because you're waking up 100 years later, so it is a little bit different. And once you find the spot, you can recover your memory, and then you're treated to a nice cutscene. And while I'm talking about cutscenes, I do want to say that this is the first Zelda game to have voice acting. And I know I've seen lots of people saying that they don't like it, they don't like Zelda's voice. I have to say I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice change, and I hope going forward all future Zelda games have voice acting. I hope Nintendo really take it serious next time and add in more cutscenes with more voiceover. I do want Link to stay silent though. I think Link shouldn't talk. That's where I stand. Everyone else can talk, just not Link. Another thing to touch on is that this game, you do not get hearts and rubies from cutting grass. You have to cook to heal yourself. You have to hunt animals, find fruit. That's how you heal in this game. It's really fun. I I was kind of thinking I could be against this when I was waiting for the game to come out and seeing all the gameplay and the fact that they said that you don't get hearts. But after playing it, it really fits the game and it suits it. And don't worry, you're never going to be stuck for health. You will always have so much extra food on you. It'd be ridiculous. So don't worry about needing hearts. You still get rubies. It's still your source of money in the game. You just don't get rubies from cutting grass. So that's really the only change for that. Some of the music kind of takes a back seat in certain areas in the game because they have it to be more quiet. So when you're exploring, it's just you listening to the game. And I have to say, this game really does feel like a live world. Oh, I have to say, the lightning storms in this game are unreal. They are so scary at the start, but it really does look amazing when there's a lightning storm going off. This is also the first Zelda game where you can have multiple weapons. You're not just using your sword and shield for the whole thing. You can be two-handed Link the whole game. I do say that'd be a lot harder though. But weapons break in this game, and they break quite often. You will find a good weapon, and you will not want to use it because you don't want to use it on something weak. So you'll be using lots of really bad weapons and hogging on to all the good ones that you have until you get to a boss or something really strong. This can be annoying at the start of the game, but the further you get in the game, you'll get better weapons that do last a lot longer than at the start. It can seem really annoying because when you get a branch or just a stick or anything at the start, they break literally after a few hits, and I understand that's annoying. But stick with it, you'll get better weapons, they'll last longer, and it wouldn't be as annoying. So overall, I really did enjoy this game. I love it. I think this game is amazing. But I have so much good to say, and I have a few negatives to say now too. The negative parts about this game are, I have to say, the dungeons. The dungeons aren't rememberable. The bosses in the dungeons aren't so great. I think this game probably has the worst overall dungeons. If it wasn't for the final boss area, like Hyrule Castle, from what you see in the trailers, it's not much of a spoiler. That castle is pretty awesome, but the four actual dungeons are such a letdown. Like they were unique the first time, but they're all just kind of copies of each other, slightly different. I am not saying they're bad, I'm just saying they're not that good compared to previous Zelda games. And I really hope with the DLC that they're bringing out, because they're adding one new dungeon to the game, I hope it's more of a classic Zelda dungeon than the four dungeons in this game. Now for the second main thing that I really disliked about the game, and that is the final boss in the game. While it starts off very strong, it gets really weak as it goes on into this next part of the fight. And that's all I have to say is about that. Starts off strong, gets really weak, don't want to spoil that. So overall, I love the combat in this game. I love the music that it does have. I love the open world and how it feels so alive. The amount of side characters, side missions, the voice acting. This game really is brilliant. I know the Wii U is a dead system, so I wouldn't recommend you picking it up for the Wii U unless you already have the system itself, or if you can find it like extremely cheap. But I will say, getting the Switch to play this game would be worth it. This game is a game. If you love games and gaming in general, this is something you have to play at some point. This is one of the best. This is probably like the best open world game I've ever played. It wasn't a chore to explore. I wanted to explore everything in this game. I wanted to go everywhere and see as much as I possibly could. I took my time with this, and that is my opinion on this game. I really do love it. Let me know what you think of Breath of the Wild. How long did it take you to complete it? Did you finish it yet? Who's your favorite character? Anything, just leave anything in the comments below what you thought of Breath of the Wild. And stay tuned to the channel because I will do my top 5 Zelda games soon. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.